Two people have been arrested by the Hawks in relation to an organisation known as the Air Lords. They're described by some sources, in fact, as a cult. The investigation started after the US Secret Service started to investigate the member of a group, the Black Axe, a gang which started in Nigeria. It's been involved in frauds relating to romance scams and Bitcoin scams and advance payments, and I'm sure a foreign exchange scam too. Colonel Katlego Mohale is the spokesperson for the Hawks. Colonel, good afternoon to you. What do we know about the people who have actually been arrested?
The people that have been arrested will be appearing in court tomorrow. They are age 39 and 42. They have been under the radar of ourselves in South Africa as well as our counterparts in the United States.
Can you tell us what they're actually being charged with, what they're accused of doing? There must be a reason to arrest them.
They are charged with fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud. They're also charged with conspiracy to commit money laundering as well as fraud.
And this group, the Air Lords, do we know anything about them, what kind of criminality they may be involved in?
Most of the scams that are involved with the Air Lords mostly are online. As you have already said, it is your romance scams, Bitcoin scams, as well as free advance scams.
So in other words, it's the kind of thing that you see on the internet all the time. It's that kind of thing.
Yes, definitely. It's those type of scams that everybody sees on the internet.
Why is the United States involved in this?
This is an assistance that we are offering to the United States because they have been looking for these suspects as well as us in South Africa. And now that we are going to have them charged today and appearing in court tomorrow, they will most probably be extradited to the United States where they will stand for the charges that have been laid that side.
So I presume what's happened is that some of the victims of the scam are American.
Yes, definitely. Some of the victims that these suspects have scammed are United States citizens.
So they can be extradited, but even though they committed the action here, is that right?
Yes, some of the actions that they committed were done here, and some of the victims are in the U.S., and some of their other counterparts are in other countries as well.
Are there other groups like this? I mean, are you expecting more arrests to follow this arrest? If they're working with other people, you now have them in custody.
Yes, the investigation is still continuing. We are not ruling out the possibility of arresting some other suspects.
How big was this organization? Do we know? I mean, how much money must have been involved? I imagine for the U.S. government to be involved, they must take it seriously. But we all know about these scams. I mean, you see them everywhere.
These scams are worldwide, and they are very prevalent because these suspects prey on unsuspecting victims. Today's arrest included that we also found money that was in a safe in one of the residences in Vapatrand.
So, I mean, how does it work? Someone literally convinces someone to fall in love with them online, or they convince them that they'll get Bitcoin if they trade with them in some way. Someone then puts their financial details in and things go from there.
Yes, definitely. Some of them, they look into your profile as you interact on Facebook or on Twitter, and they can assess that you most probably have a husband or a spouse that has died, and some of your kids are not staying with you, and they entice you into a relationship so that you can trust them, and then they start borrowing small amounts of money so that you get comfortable with them, and then eventually they start asking for big amounts.
Okay, so it's that kind of scam. And do we know how much money might actually have been stolen over time? I mean, some scams like this can run for years.
At this stage, there is very large amounts of money, rands and US dollars included. We are still ascertaining how far wide does this specific scam go.
Colonel Katlego Mohale, thank you. Spokesperson for the Hawks, really do appreciate it. Well, they'll be in court tomorrow. There'll no doubt be an extradition proceeding as well. We'll see how that all develops. I can imagine the arguments around the extradition, but you'll know how big these claims and these scams can be.